Okay. Yes. Good evening po. Unang-una, maraming salamat sa pag-attend po ng live natin. This is a free review since hindi natin abot yung specific target ng mga students natin. But maybe on the next examination cycle, we can prepare ample time. We can have ample time to prepare for this kind of review. And this is the first time that the Class Tanglaw Review 2010 are having a promotional exam. Marami kasi yung page namin since kami din ay nagkakanlak ng mga entrance exam for the NAPOLCOM or yung PNPA. And then, why not i-cater din natin yung promotional exam. So, this is by the way parang dry run if kaya ba natin. And so far, maganda naman yung discussions kagabi. And kahit 2 days lang ito, I think this is sapat na para matulungan kayong makapasa sa exam. Okay? And I will not talk too much since our lecturer is already ready for discussions. And then, Sir Ma'am, we are very glad if you were to ask questions. Our lecturer po is always prepared to answers kahit outside siya sa topic ng lecturer natin as long as relevant pa rin siya sa promotional exam. Okay? So, without further ado, I think our lecturer, no need for introduction because andyan naman sa presentation niya. So, siya na lang po yung magpapakilala sa inyo. Okay? So, good luck everyone. Hopefully, we could learn something. Okay, Sir Roy, good luck po.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, okay na yung lecture ko? Kita na? Okay, good evening. Good evening, sir, ma'am. Good evening. Okay. So pakilala muna ako. So, I'm a Police Senior Master Sergeant, no? Roy Stillero. I'm a registered criminologist, also a licensed professional teacher. Then yung FAST, no? The NAPOLCOM PNP entrance exam, the 4th class or the PO exam, 3rd class or the SPO exam, and the 2nd class or lieutenant exam, no? So yung 4 po na yan ng NAPOLCOM exams na napasa ko po. So I was tackle, no, to lecture to you the 10 special laws. So ano yung 10 na yon? So Republic Act 3019, Republic Act 10883, Republic Act 10591, then RA 9160, RA 10175, RA 9165, RA 9262, RA 10364, and RA 11930, and RA or Republic Act 10173. So yan po, no, yung 10 special laws na ibinigay sa akin, no, para po i-discuss sa inyo. Okay, so start tayo. Doon nga sa una, Republic Act 3019. So what is Republic Act 3019? So Republic Act 3019 is also known as the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, no? Also RA 3019 is also known as the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, no? So it is the primary law designed to prevent and penalize corrupt in public office. So this law enacted on August 17, 1916. Tagal na, no? So pero hanggang ngayon yan pa rin naman ang hindi pa naman na-revise yan, no? So it operates on the principle that public office is a public trust. Nandyan din yan sa 1987 Philippine Constitution, di ba? Nakalagay doon, public office is a public trust. Pag empleyado ka ng gobyerno, di ba? Public office is a public trust. Kaya nga mas mabigat yung penalty pagka public office, di ba? Pag government employee, mas iba yung yung penalty, no? Mas mahaba yung kulong, ganyan, no? Di ba pagka private person yung pumasok sa loob ng bahay o trespass to dwelling, di ba? O bakit pag public office, pag government public officer, di ba? Violation of domicile, di ba? Iba yung tawag. Tapos yung penalty mas mabigat, di ba? Mas mahaba yung penalty sa kanya. Okay, so yung batas na to, Key Prohibited Act Section 3. So the law lists 11 specific corrupt practices in public office include. So yung batas na to, it have a list of 11 specific corrupt practices of public offices including influencing others, no? Inisa-isa ko to, inayos ko rin tong lecture na to, no? 2 days. Influencing others, ano to? Persuading or encourage other public official to violate rules or perform an illegal act. So bawal 'yan, no? So bawal yung nang-encourage ka pa ng ibang public official kasama mo na empleyado sa gobyerno na mag-perform ng illegal act, no? Parang niyaya mo pa, no? O in-encourage mo, gawin natin 'to, no? Nakawan natin tong opisina, ganyan, no? So liable ka diyan, no? Dito sa RA 3019 or the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices. Then another, requesting or receiving gifts. So alam naman din natin talaga bawal na bawal 'yan, no? So requesting or receiving gifts, taking benefits of kickbacks in connection with government contracts or permits. Parang ganyan yung nangyari sa mga taga DPWH, di ba? So ang dami nilang kickbacks, di ba? So taking benefits or kickbacks in connection with government contracts or permits. Another, causing undue injury. Section 3E, causing undue injury. What is this? Acting with manifest partially evident bad faith or gross inexcusable negligence that harms any party including the government. So acting with manifest partially evident bad faith. So acting with manifest or you give bad faith, no? Or gross negligence, no? Gross inexcusable negligence, na yung gross negligence mo na yan ay nakasama, no? Nakasama sa including harm to party including the government. So yun, no? Bawa yung papeles, no? O, na kailangan na bukas, no? Yung dokumento kailangan na bukas i-submit sa City Hall, no? Nawala mo, yun, no? Gross negligence, no? At naka-harm, no? Naka-harm yan sa opisina imbis na ipapasa na lang sana, na delay pa, di ba? Pina-explain ngayon yung hepe mo dahil doon nawala yung papeles. Example of acts violating section 3E, ano to? Approving disbursement without funds, no? Approving disbursement without fund. Example nito, yung mayor nag-approve siya ng 10 million peso payment sa contractor for price escalation without certificate of availability of funds. Ayun, no? Basahin mo na lang yung approving disbursement without funds. Halimbawa, ikaw yung hepe, no? 'Di ba? O ikaw yung district director doon sa DPWH. 'Di ba? O inapprove mo yung yung project kahit walang pondo kasi magkakaroon naman ng pondo next month eh. Kasi kikita ka, no? Kikita ka doon sa project na 'yon. O example pa ito, yung mayor nag-approve siya ng 10 million peso sa contractor for price escalation, no? Ayun, without a certificate of availability of funds. Kahit walang certificate ng availability of funds. Bakit siya pumayag? No? Kasi meron siyang kickback doon, di ba? Another, reimbursing illegal expenses. Reimbursing illegal expenses. Example, a mayor collecting and appropriating over 500,000 pesos for municipal funds for unauthorized and illegal travel. Ang daming gumagawa niyan sa gobyerno natin, di ba? No, iba-ibang bansa yung pinupuntahan ni mayor, no? Yan, no? O ni congressman. So yan, no, yung mayor ginamit niya yung pondo ng kanyang gobyerno, no, ng kanyang munisipyo, kanyang city hall, no? Kanyang municipal tsaka city hall, no? For illegal travel, no? So inuna pa niya yung pag-travel niya, pamamasyal niya kaysa sa kapakanan ng kanyang mga mamamayan, no? So yun, no, reimbursing illegal expenses. So liable ka diyan sa RA 3019, Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices. Another, favoring specific suppliers. Ang dami din gumagawa niyan, no? O, parang baliktad pa nga kung saan pa yung mahal na supplier, yung pa yung pinapaboran, di ba? Kasi meron na naman siyang kickback, di ba? So favoring specific suppliers, manifest partially, showing a clear, notorious or plain inclination to favor to one supplier over others. 'Di ba sa mga bidding ganyan eh, 'di ba? Tatlo, apat naglalaban sa bidding, pinili yung isa, no? Baka yung pinili yung mas mahal pa na supplier. Bakit 'yun ang pinili? No, kasi kinausap na siya, no? Kinausap na siya ng supplier, sir, pag ako pinili mo, may ano ka dito, sir, no? may 30% ka dito, no, na kickback, o, yun, no? So, favoring specific supplier. So, liable ka sa RA 3019. Another, entering into disadventurous contract. Entering into disadventurous contracts. Entering into agreements on behalf of the government that are manifestly and grossly disadvantageous. Parang may mga ganyan, di ba? Yung mga mga supply, mga palpak, di ba? Palpak na sasakyan, palpak na barel, di ba? Di ba? Ganun. Bakit yun, yung sasakyan na galing sa India, yung nga, Mahindra, no? Yung Mahindra, sabi nga nila, Mahindra, tanggalin mo yung D, tsaka R, no? Mahina, no? Ayun, no? So, entering into this adventurous contract, bakit natuloy yung contract na yun kahit na disadvantage, no? Yung makukuha natin dyan sa kontrata na yan. Kasi, mas malaki na kickback niya, no? Napunta sa kanya. Another, divulging confidential information. Bawal din yon. Divulging confidential information. Confidential nga eh. Sharing sensitive data acquired through official duties with an authorized person. So, bawal din yan. Empleyado ka ng gobyerno. Sinishare mo yung mga sensitive data sa yung office, no? Hindi ka naman authorized person para i-share yan, no? Yan. So, liable ka pa rin dyan sa RA 3019. So, anong penalties? Anong penalties nito? Bago tayo mag number 2. So, ang penalties nito, it applies on both public officers and private individual who conspire with them. So, applicable pala to, hindi lang sa public officer, pati din sa private individual, no? Prescripted period, offenses punishable under this act prescribed in 20 years. So, 20 years na yung pagkakakulong niya ngayon, no? Dati 15 years lang siya, no? Naging 20 years na siya because of RA 10910. Then punishment, violator pays imprisonment ranging from 6 years and 1 month to 15 years. Wala na yan 15 years. Ito na siya ngayon, 20 years na siya. Okay, so yan po, Sir Ma'am, ang Republic Act 3019. Number 2, Republic Act 10883, no? Or RA 10883 or 10883. So also known as the New Anti-Carnapping Act of 2016. So this is the primary law in the Philippines that addresses and penalizes the crime of carnapping. Etong RA 10883, pinalitan nito yung dating batas na RA 6539, no? 1972 pa yan. Masyado na rin matagal, tama lang din na palitan, no? So, ang RA 10883, it provide stricter penalties and modernized enforcement measures. So, key definition, what is carnapping? Ano po ba yung carnapping? Carnapping defined so the taking with intent to gain of a motor vehicle belonging to another without the latter consent. So, carnapping, so taking with intent, no? Or gain a motor vehicle belonging to another without latter consent. Ito yung pagkuha mo ng motor vehicle na pag-aari ng isang tao na walang consent, wala kang paalam sa kanya. No? Naiwan niya yung motor o yung kotse niya, yung susi nandun sa motor niya, hindi niya natanggal, no? Ganyan. O na paglabas niya pagbaba niya ng kotse niya, nahulog yung susi, hindi niya namalayan kasi maingay, o dinampot mo, no? Hindi mo binalik sa kanya at tinakas mo yung sasakyan niya, no? Ganon. Or by means of violence against or intimidation of the person. Ginamit by means of violence, pwedeng pagbaba niya ng kotse niya, bigla mong sinapak, no? O bigla mong tinutukan ng barel, ganyan. Or binasag mo yung salamin ng kotse niya, no? Nakapasok ka ngayon doon sa loob, tapos meron kang dala na master key para mapatakbo mo yung kotse, ganyan. Sa mga motor, di ba? Nakikita natin sa Facebook, di ba? Video. Inuupuan lang yung motor, di ba? Tapos may ginagalaw-galaw lang, parang iniikot lang na gano'n, tapos napapaandar na, di ba? So, yun, no? So, by using force upon things. So, penalties nito, penalties ng carnapping po, tatlo to, no? Ito yung sa bago, no? Sa RA 10883. Nandun yung simple carnapping, 20 years na pagkabilanggo and 1 day to 30 years of imprisonment without violence or intimidation. So, ang paliwanag dyan, ninakaw mo, kinarnap mo yung kotse o yung motor, no, na walang violence or intimidation. Yung may-ari hindi mo hindi mo binugbog, hindi mo sinaktan, hindi mo pinatay. No, parang ganun, naiwan lang yung susi sa motor o sa kotse o nahulog yung susi, ayan yan. So pag nakilala ka, nahuli ka, so 20 years and 1 day to 30 years ang pagkabilanggo mo. So tawag doon simple carnapping. Next, yung pangalawa, with violence or intimidation. So, ang ginawa mo dito, yung may-ari ng sakyan, yan nga, sinapak mo, tutukan mo ng baril, tutukan mo ng kutsilyo, no? Yan, ang penalty niyan, 30 years in 1 day to 40 years. So, nadagdagan ng 10 taon. Then, yung pangatlo, qualified carnapping. So, alam naman natin yung pag-qualified, laging ano yan aggravating lagi, di ba? Lalong nagpapataas ng penalty, no? Qualified carnapping, life imprisonment is imposed kapag anong ginawa mo, the occupant is killed or raped during the commission of the occasion of the carnapping. So dito sa qualified carnapping, kahit hindi siya yung may-ari ng sasakyan, hiniram lang niya. Halimbawa, hiniram ko yung sasakyan, no? Tapos kinarnap mo, tapos napatay mo ako. Ito 'yon, no? So ang nito, napatay mo yung either may-ari o yung nag-drive lang ng kotse, yung mga Grab ngayon, 'di ba ganyan? O ni-rape mo pa. So, habang buhay na pagkakabilanggo yan, no? So, yun, nakalagay doon, no? Life imprisonment is imposed. So, yan po yung tatlong penalties ng the new anti-carnapping law or the RA 10883. Next, ito din yung malupit, concealment, no? Concealment. Nakita mo, alam mo, no? Baba, kapatid mo yung nangkarnap, kumpare mo, pinsan mo, di ba? Sabi nga nila, blood is thicker than water, di ba? Any person involved in hiding a carnap vehicle or parts faces 6 to 12 years of imprisonment and a fine. Yan pa yung isang mabigat dyan, no? Nakita mo lang, no? Nakita mo, alam mo, may knowledge ka, tatanong ka ng pulis kung nakita mo yung kotse na kinanap, sabi mo, wala kang alam, di mo nakita, no? Pero may nakita CCTV, nandoon ka pala, kitang-kita mo, no? Nung kinarnap. So, yan, no? Maaari kang makulong ng 6 hanggang 12 years of imprisonment and a fine. Okay, so ano yung mga important provision or salient provisions nitong the new anti-carnapping law? So, bail, carnapping is non-bailable, no? Non-bailable yan. If the evidence is is strong, no? So, ang carnapping, no bail daw siya kapag ang ebidensya raw ay very strong, no? And public official, any public official found involved in carnapping can be dismissed from the service and perpetually disqualified from holding a public office. Kapag ikaw ay public official, no, hindi any public official yan, hindi lang pulis, no, lahat ng empleyado ng gobyerno. Kapag ikaw yung nangkarnap, napatunayan na ikaw ay nangkarnap, so i-dismiss ka sa serbisyo mo, no, at disqualified ka na magtrabaho ulit, no, mag-hold ng position in a public office. Hindi ka na pwedeng mag-apply sa ibang ahensya ng gobyerno, no, ganyan. And the PNP LTO rules, the law mandates that the Philippine National Police and the Land Transportation Office or LTO to maintain a permanent registry of motor vehicle and their parts. So ang PNP daw po at ang LTO dapat i-maintain nila o namin, no, yung permanent registry of motor vehicle on their parts. Clearance requirements to register or transfer, no, ownership of the vehicle. Owners must secure clearances from both PNP and LTO to ensure the vehicle is not reported as stolen. Ayun. So, clearance requirement sa pag-rehistro at pag-transfer daw ng ownership ng vehicle, ng sasakyan, yung may-ari dapat mag-secure ng clearance sa PNP at LTO para masigurado na yung sasakyan ay hindi na report na ninakaw, no? Baka mamaya yung binibenta niya ay galing sa nakaw, di ba? Okay, next po, number 3, Republic Act number 10591 or 10591, no? So nung investigador ako, nakahawak ako ng ganitong kaso, no? Or the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act, RA 10591. So was signed into law on May 29, 2013. Ang purpose ng batas na to ay to regulate the ownership, possession, carrying, and manufacture of firearms and ammunition in the Philippines. So, ang purpose ng batas na to, 10591 or the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act ay i-regulate yung pag-aari o possession o pagdala at pagmanufacture ng mga armas, mga barel at bala dito sa Pilipinas, no? So, it defines loose firearm, sets stricter penalties for illegal possession, and define Class A and Class B firearms. Kasama sa batas na to, dinefine niya yung loose firearm at nagbigay siya ng mas stricto na penalties for illegal possession. At nagkaroon dito ng Class A and Class B firearms. So ano ba yung Class A at Class B firearms? Sabi ng RA 10591. So bago yan, so definition of loose firearm. So the definition of loose firearm covers unregistered guns. So kahit na yung baril mo ay pagbili mo rehistrado, no? After 5 years o 10 years hindi mo na parehistro. So tatawagin yan, no, na loose firearm. Kaya nga merong offline katok yung PNP, di ba? Pinapaalala sa iyo, pinupuntahan ka ng PNP, kinakatok yung bahay mo, pinapaalala sa iyo yung obligasyon mo na irehistro mo na ulit yung baril mo. Kasi paso na yung rehistro, no? Then firearms with expired licenses. Mga barel na paso na yung firearms license, no? Or those being used by an authorized person. O yung barel na ginagamit by unauthorized person, no? Baka yung baril mo ay pinahawak o pinahiram mo muna sa pinsan mo, sa kaibigan mo, sa kapatid mo, sa kuya mo, no? Ganyan. Penalties. Illegal possession of firearms can lead to imprisonment ranging from 6 months to 12 years, depending on the type of firearm. Using a loose firearm in the commission of the crime is considered aggravating circumstances. Okay, so ang penalties, ang illegal firearms daw, pag nahulihan ka dyan, no, na meron kang illegal firearms, maaari ka makulong ng 6 months to 12 years, depende raw yan sa klase ng baril na dala-dala mo, no? So, mas mataas yung caliber, mas mataas yung kulong, no? Mas mahaba yung penalty, no? Ganon. So, using a loose firearm in the commission of crime, pag gumamit ka ng loose firearm, yung baril na walang firearms license, walang LTAP, walang permit to carry, it will considered aggravating circumstances. So, mas mabigat ang penalty mo, no? Aggravating, hindi yung regular lang na penalty, no? Pag gumamit ka in crime, no, ng loose firearm, no? Then licensing recognizes the right of qualified citizen to own licensed firearm for self-defense and requires registration for all firearms including antique ones. So pagdating sa lisensya ng baril, nire-recognize yung karapatan, no, ng mga mamamayan na magkaroon ng sariling firearms, no, bilang self-defense. At nire-require na i-rehistro yung lahat ng baril, no, kasama na yung mga antique, no, kung pag-aari pa ng lolo mo yan, no, dapat iparehistro mo din yan, no. Sabi ng batas di ba? RA 10591. So ito Sir Ma'am kanina, 'di ba sabi nung bagong batas, nagkaroon ng nag-define siya ng Class A at Class B na firearms. So ito po 'yon. Dinagdag ko to dito, no. So ang mga Class A na firearms, ito includes self-reloading pistols, may mga pistols, rifles, submachine gun. Basta yung submachine gun mo, hindi siya mag-exceed ng 7.62 mm. So ito po yung mga example ng Class A na barel, no? Yan, yung M14 rifle, AK-47, yung FN PAL, no? L1A1, no? Yan, self-reloading rifle, no? Self-reloading rifle, Class A pa rin siya, no? Heckler and Koch or Coach, no? Yan. Armalite and Galil. Yan. So yung anim na yan at marami pang iba, yan po yung example ng Class A na sa baril po, no? And yung Class B, ang Class B naman po includes heavy machine guns, no? Siyempre mas mabigat tong Class B. Includes heavy machine gun, grenade launcher, and mortars, no? Exceeding to 7.62 millimeter na hindi lalagpas sa 100 millimeter, no? Okay, ang sample ng Class B na barel yan, heavy machine guns, no? Automatic grenade, mortars na less than 100 mm, at recoilless rifles, at marami pang iba, no? So, yan po yung example ng Class B, sir, ma'am. Okay, responsibilities. Licenses can deposit firearms for safekeeping with the PNP. Ang paliwanag dito, sir, ma'am, pwede mong i-deposito yung baril mo for safekeeping. Halimbawa po, yung baril mo po ay expired na po yung sir, ma'am. Expired na po yung firearms license, no? Wala ka pang pera, no? Halimbawa, tatlo yung baril mo. Ang firearms license nasa 5,000, di ba? So 15,000 yan. Okay, pati na rin yung sabihin natin yung PTC mo, di ba? 5,000 din yan, no? 10K na agad. LTAP na 4,000. So sa isang baril mo, gagastos ka ng 14,000 dyan. O sa isang baril lang, halimbawa, expired lahat, no? Wala kang pera, no? So pwede mo muna siyang i-deposito pansamantala sa PNP. Halimbawa, pinuntahan ka ng pulis dyan sa bahay mo, no? Kinatok ka, lang katok. Sir, ma'am, inform lang po namin kayo na nandito po ba nakatira tong taong to? Yes, sir, ako po yan, no? Inform ko lang po kayo, sir, ma'am, na sir, na dapat i-renew na po niyo yung yung baril nyo. Expired na po yung firearms license, LTAP, no? Pati PTC po ng baril nyo. Wala ka bang pera, no? So pwede mo muna siyang i-deposito yung baril mo sa police station na nakakasakop diyan sa bahay mo, no? For safekeeping. Pag na-comply mo na, pwede mo nang bawiin. Napakita mo sa kanila yung mga dokumento na nag-comply ka na. Okay. So the law serves as the legal framework for the Philippine National Police to manage firearm ownership and curb the proliferation of illegal weapons. Then penalties po ng RA 10591 or the illegal possession of firearms. Pag small arm possession, nahulihan ka, small arm, no? Smaller possession, maaari kang makulong ng prison mayor, no? Prison mayor. Kapag ang nakuha naman sa'yo, no, yung mga high-powered firearms, yung kanina, yung mga Class A, no? Class A firearms. So, ang penalty niyan, sir, ma'am, reclusion temporal to reclusion perpetua. So, reclusion temporal is 12 to 20 years of imprisonment. And ang reclusion perpetua, 20 to 40 years of imprisonment yan, no? Pag nakuha naman po sa'yo is yung Class B, light weapon. So, ang penalty pa rin yan ay reclusion, no? Class B, light weapon. Possess of Class B, light weapon can result, no? So, pasok pa rin siya sa reclusion perpetua. Then, kapag naman po ammunition, bala, di ba? O mga major parts, illegal possession of ammunition, bala, ito yung mga nahuhuli dati sa airport, di ba? Or major parts of small arms. Class A firearms carries prison mayor in its minimum period penalty. So, nakuha lang sa'yo po ay bala or parts ng baril, no? Sabi dito, no? Major parts of small arm, no? Yan ba, yung baril lang ng baril, no? So, liable ka for prison mayor. Then, carrying outside residence. Ito, dala-dala mo, pero wala ka namang permit to carry firearms, no? Wala ka namang PTC, no? Permit to carry firearms. PTC 4, di ba? Permit to carry firearms outside residence. So, yun, PTC 4. So, yun, license owner carrying illegal outside their home without permit face prison correctional, no? Yan, maaari kang makulong ng prison correctional 6 months to 6 years and fine at may multa, no? So, meron kang LTAP, meron kang license to own and possess firearm, meron ding firearms license yung baril mo, wala namang permit to carry firearm na pwede mong dalhin sa labas, no? So, liable ka pa rin. Ayan, no? Pwede kang makulong ng prison correctional, no? 6 months to 6 years. Aggravating circumstances if illegal firearms are equipped with silencers laser sights or converted to fully automatic, the penalty increase. Okay, aggravating circumstances. Kapag yung baril mo, no, illegal firearms, ibig sabihin, walang firearms license, walang LTAP, walang PTC, no? Nilagyan mo pa ng silencer, no? Nilagyan mo pa ng laser sights o kinonvert mo sa fully automatic. So ang penalty niyan iba, ang penalty niyan mas mataas, mas mabigat, no? The penalty increases. And last, illegal manufacture, smuggling. So unlawful manufacture, import, or sale of firearms and ammunition attracts reclusion temporal to reclusion perpetua. So, gumagawa ka ng barel, no? Marunong ka gumawa ng barel, 'di ba? Diyan sa Cebu, sa Danau, 'di ba? Diyan ang kawaan ng mga barel, 'di ba? Mga paltek, 'di ba? Diyan din kumukuha eh. Unlawful manufacture, no, walang permit, no? Ini-import mo pa, nagbebenta ka. Ito kahit nagbebenta ka lang, no, ng barel o bala. So liable ka, no? Liable ka for illegal manufacture or smuggling, no? At maaari kang makulong ng reclusion temporal to reclusion perpetua. So nagbebenta ka lang ng firearms ng barel, ha? So sabi ng RA 10591. Okay, next, number 4. Republic Act 9160 or the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001. No? Although itong Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001 or AMLA, no, marami pang ito lang yung binigay sa akin ni Sir pero dinagdagan ko to kasi maraming batas pa na sumunod dito, no, na-revise to eh. No, parang meron pang 4 na batas pagkatapos nito. So unahin natin yung unang-una. So itong Republic Act 9160 or the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001 or AMLA. AMLA defines and penalizes money laundering in the Philippines, aiming to protect bank account integrity and prevent the country from being used for unlawful proceeds. It compels covered institutions to conduct client due diligence, report suspicious transactions, and maintain records for 5 years. So yung ginawa yung batas na to, RA 9160 or the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001 or AMLA, so dinefine niya yung mga penalizes ng money laundering dito sa Pilipinas. Ang aim ng batas na to ay para maprotektahan yung bank account integrity, ma-prevent yung bansa natin na from being used, no, for unlawful proceeds. Baka mamaya yung mga perang nilalagay dyan sa bangko, pinapasok dyan sa bangko ay galing sa mga unlawful proceeds, no, galing sa mga illegal, no. It compels covered institution to conduct client due diligence. Kasama dito, covered dito yung mga institution na mag-conduct ng client due diligence. I-report nila yung mga suspicious transaction, parang itong taong to kay Dainala, parang araw-araw, no? Araw-araw nagpapasok ng ganitong kalaking pera lagi sa bangko. Ano bang trabaho nito? Ano bang negosyo nito, no? Ganyan. And maintain records hanggang 5 years daw. Okay, so another definition ng money laundering. So, money laundering is the illegal process of making dirty money funds generated by criminal acts like drug trafficking or fraud appear clean by disguising its original source. So, ayun. So, money laundering daw po ay illegal process siya na ang ginagawa mo dyan, yung maruming pera, yung pera na kinita mo sa illegal, no? Pagbibenta ng droga, kahit ano yan eh, droga, kidnapping, carnapping, no? Pinapalabas mo siya na malinis na pera. No, kumbaga, halimbawa, nang kidnap ka, binayaran ka ng 10 million. Yung 10 million na binayad sa'yo sa kinidnap mo, ng ransom money, nilagay mo sa bangko. No? Kunyari, pinalabas mo siya na legal na pera mo. Ganun yan. Yung pinagbenta mo ng illegal na droga. So, ganun. No? So, money laundering is the illegal process of making dirty money funds. No? Like, kinita mo sa drug trafficking or fraud. No? Panloloko mo. No? Yan. Ina-appear mo siya na malinis. No? Galing sa original source. Key aspect of RA 9160, objective nitong batas na to para to protect the confidentiality of bank account and prevent the Philippines from becoming a money laundering site. So ang purpose po ng batas na to, no, RA 9160, para ma-protect siya, tahan yung confidentiality ng mga bangko at ma-prevent yung Pilipinas na maging money laundering site tayo ng mundo, di ba? Covered institution, ito inayos ko din to. Covered institution, bank, no? Covered nito lahat ng bangko sa Pilipinas, no, na membro ng, pag nag-tayo ka ng bangko, nagnegosyo ka ng bangko dito, matik yan, dapat membro ka ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, no? BSP. Kasama na rin po yung mga non-banks. Ano ba yung mga non-banks? So yan, ang non-banks, ito yung nagpo-provide ng financial services such as lending, asset management, and money transfer. Yung mga nagpapautang, no? Tapos may mga tubo din, no? Non-banks tawag dyan. So, meron yan mga office, di ba? Hindi naman siya Metrobank, hindi naman siya BDO, di ba? Hindi naman siya Land Bank, di ba? Opisina siya na pwede kang mangutang, no? Ganyan. So, tawag doon non-banks. Utang ka ng 5,000, 10,000, mga maliliit lang na pautang. So, provide financial services such as lending, asset management, and money transfer. Another, kasama rin dito, covered din ito yung quasi-banks, trust entities. So, what is quasi-bank trust entities? This institution obtain funds from public, 20 or more person, corporation through the issuance or deposit substitutes. Ayun. So, ang quasi-bank pala or trust entities, ang sample nito, ito yung institution na merong 20 na tao o higit pa, no? Halimbawa, 20 kami ng mga tao, mga nagsama-sama kami, tiga-ano kami, party-party kami, nagbakas-bakas kami. Okay, sige, tigpa 500 tayo kada isa, o tigo 1 million tayo. Tapos magpapautang tayo ngayon, ganyan, no? So, ang tawag doon, quasi-bank, no? Quasi-bank or trust entities. Okay. Kasama din dito yung mga institusyon na nire-regulate ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, as well as insurance companies, kasama mga insurance companies, securities dealers, and money changer, mga money changer, no? Palawan, Cebuana, di ba? Insurance companies, no? Money laundering offenses. So, transacting or attempting to transact monetary instrument or property known to be proceeds from unlawful activity. So, money laundering offenses, kasama rin, nakipag-transact ka or nag-attempt ka lang, no? Hindi pa tapos, hindi pa consummated. Nag-attempt ka pa lang, no? Na mag-transact, no? Ng property na galing yan sa unlawful activity, no? Kahit hindi consummated. Di ba, yung pinagbentahan ko ng illegal na droga, no? 5 million, ihuhulog ko pa lang sa bangko, nahuli na ako ng pulis, no? Pasok na yon, no? Sabi ng batas, di ba? Attempting, no? To transact. So, another, performing or failing to perform acts that facilitate money laundering. Performing or failing to perform acts that facilitate money laundering. Bawa, sa bangko ka, no? Alam mo na, meron ka ng kutob, meron ka ng hinala na parang galing sa money laundering, hindi mo ginawa yung ano mo, no? Yung dapat mong gawin, di ba? Perform or failing to perform acts that facilitate money laundering. Ito pa, another, failing to report a suspicious transaction. Liable ka pa rin, no? Failing to report a suspicious transaction. Unlawful activity. Ano ba yung unlawful activity dito in the Philippines, particularly under the Anti-Money Laundering Act or AMLA or RA 9160, amended by RA 10365, refers to be. So, ito yung mga example, sir, ma'am, ng mga unlawful activities na kumita, no? At yung pinagkakitaan ay ipinasok sa bangko o under transaction pa lang sa bangko, kaso nahuli, no? Ganyan. So, violent crime and terrorism. Kidnapping, yan. Nang kidnap ka, kinita mo sa pangkikidnap mo, inulog mo sa bangko, no? Drug trafficking, yan, kasama, no? Murder, hard killer ka, no? Binayaran ka para patayin mo si ganito, binayaran ka ng 3 million o 5 million, yung binayad sa'yo, no? Yan, nilagay mo rin sa bangko, pero galing yun sa madumi, di ba? Arson, terrorism, financing, and piracy. So, yan, sample, no, ng mga lawful activities pagdating sa violent crime and terrorism. Another, graft and corruption. Ang dami dyan, di ba? Yung mga government employees. Di ba yung sa mga empleyado ng DPWH, yan, nakapending, di ba, naka-hold na yung mga pera nila. Ang lalaki ng pera nila sa bangko, di ba? Saan galing yun? Magkano lang yung sweldo mo sa DPWH? So, ito yon, no? Graft and yun, part pa rin ng ano yun, anti-money laundering. Kasi yung pera na nilagay niya sa bank account niya, di ba, hindi naman yung galing sa legal na trabaho, gawain. Galing sa illegal yon, di ba? Galing sa maduming gawain. So, yan, graft, bribery, malversation of funds. Yung pera, ano ba? Pera ng malversation of funds. Pera ng opisina mo. No? O yan, pampasweldo sa mga tao. Halimbawa, tinakas mo, tinakbo mo, yan, nilagay mo sa bangko. Yun, no? Malversation of public funds. Another, property and financial crimes. Robbery, extortion, estafa, qualified theft, carnapping, fencing, yung mga galing sa nakaw, no, na binenta sa'yo, tapos mas binenta mo ng malaki, yung malaking pera na napagbenta mo, inulog mo sa bank account mo, yan, no, and illegal gambling. Kasama po yan sa unlawful crimes. Other crimes, trafficking, smuggling, cybercrime, child abuse, and environmental offenses. Okay, then yun, mga scams, no? Kumita sa'yo kahit pa paano, milyon, no? So, lahat po yan, pag po pinasok sa loob, sa bank account yan, so, pasok po yan, sir, ma'am, sa Anti-Money Laundering Act. So, ang penalties po, nung naunang batas, nitong RA 9160, anong penalties niya? So, ang penalties niya is imprisonment ranging to 4 to 7 years and a fine of 1.5 million to 3 million or lower depending sa severe ng offense. Okay? Then po, after po nung RA 9160, na-amend po yan, no? Na-amend po yan. So, anim pong amend dyan. Na-amend dyan ng RA 9194, RA 10167, RA 10365, RA 10927, and RA 11521. So ito yung pinaka-latest, no? RA 11521. So papayawan lang natin, sir ma'am, sa mabilisan. So ano yung pangalawa? RA 9194. So signed into law on March 23, 2003. Inamend po nito yung RA 9160. Anong purpose po ng pag-amend ng RA 9160? Ang purpose ng pag-amend ng 9160 ni RA 9194 is to strengthen the efforts against financial crimes. Ayun, no? So mas lalong pinaigting, no, yung efforts, no, laban sa financial crimes. Ano ba yung financial crimes? What is financial crimes? Financial crimes are unlawful acts involving deception, misuse, or financial system or property conversion for illicit gain ranging from fraud and money laundering to corruption. So, strengthen efforts against financial crime, yung RA 9194. Ang financial crime, ito yung kasama dito yung deception, misuse, yung misuse na paggamit ng property, kinonvert mo for illicit gain, no, yung fraud and money laundering to corruption. Ayun ang ibig sabihin po nung financial crimes. Then another sa 9394, nagkaroon siya ng stronger power, including authority to inquire into bank deposit. So the anti-money laundering, it lowered the threshold for reporting single covered transaction to within one banking day and granted the Anti-Money Laundering Council for stronger powers including authority to inquire into bank deposit. Okay, so kasama dito sa RA 9394, yung batas na to, binigyan niya yung Anti-Money Laundering Council o yung AMLC ng mas strong na kapangyarihan, no, at authority na mag-inquire sa mga bank deposit. Halimbawa, may duda agad si Anti-Money Laundering Council, no, na sa hinuhulog na pera ito sa bangko. So, pwede siyang pumunta sa bangko, mag-inquire siya sa mga dinideposit ng tao na to. Ayun. Another, no, RA 10167. Passed on 2012, Anong purpose ni Republic Act 10167? So another, it strengthens the Philippine Anti-Money Laundering Act by enabling the Anti-Money Laundering Council to secure ex parte. What is the meaning of ex parte? Without notifying the account holder, freeze order from the Court of Appeals. Ayun. So, ginawa tong RA 10167, no, pinasa tong batas na to 2012 para paigtingin, no, paigtingin ng Philippine Anti-Money Laundering at i-secure nila yung ex parte. Ibig sabihin nito, pwede nilang i-freeze, no? Pwede nilang i-freeze yung pera, parang ngayon yung ginagawa ngayon, no? Dito sa mga bank account ng mga taga DPWH, di ba? Kahit walang utos ng Court of Appeals, no? Ito yung batas na to, RA 10167. No, kung may nalaman ka na kay nahinala no yung pera nung tao na to na nasa kanyang bank account ay galing sa masama, galing sa illegal, no? Pwede mo siyang i-hold, pwede mo siyang i-freeze kahit walang order ng Court of Appeals. O, yun, no? Republic Act 10167. Another is Republic Act 10365. Republic Act 10365, approved on February 15, 2013, amended the Philippine Anti-Money Laundering Act of RA 9160 to strengthen the law. It expanded the definition of money laundering, increased the list of unlawful activities, and predicate crimes. What is predicate crime? So, predicate crime is the unlawful act that constitute a component of a larger, more complex crime, most notably money laundering, racketeering, or terrorism financing, and include more covered persons such as casinos and real estate developers under AMLA, no, or AMLC supervisions. Ayun. So, itong batas na to, RA 10365, approved noong February 15, 2013. Kasama dito yung pag-covered, no, yung pagbabantay ng Anti-Money Laundering Council sa mga casino at mga real estate developers. Baka mamaya yung itong taon to, yung mga tinataya niya sa casino ay galing pala sa illegal, no? Kaya pala ganyan magpatalo ng pera yan sa casino kasi yung perang pinapatalo niya ay hindi naman niya pinaghirapan, no? Galing sa tao na kinidnap niya, yung kinidnap niya nagbigay ng ransom, no? Yung ransom na binigay sa kanya, yung pala yung tinataya niya ngayon sa casino, no? And real estate developers. Ganyan din, no? Baka mamaya yung perang kinita galing sa masama, binibili ng property, no? Pero hindi niya pinagtrabahuan pala ng maayos yun, no? Galing pala sa masama o illegal yun. So, ito lang yun, yung batas na yun, no? RA 10365, include more covered persons such as casinos and real estate developers, no, under supervision ng Anti-Money Laundering Council. Then, nandyan din yung predicate crimes. Again, ano yung predicate crimes? Predicate crimes is an unlawful act that constitute a component of a larger, more complex crime, most notably money laundering, racketeering, or terrorism financing. So, kasama rin dito yung, sabi nito, predicate crime. Ang predicate crime daw po, ito yung unlawful act that constitute component, larger, at more complex crime. So, ano yung mga larger at more complex crime? Ito yung mga racketeering and terrorism financing. No, baka ay pala yung pera mo na nilalagay sa bangko, no, ay galing pala sa kinita, galing sa terrorism, no? Ganyan. Key aspect of RA 10365 include expanded definition of money laundering. It includes the failure of covered person to report suspicious transaction to the Anti-Money Laundering Council. So, expanded definition of money laundering, sabi po dito, kasama po dito yung failure ng tao na i-report yung mga, empleyado ng bangko, manager ng bangko, di ba? Kahit alam niya na o may hinala siya na yung pera na nilalagay nung suspect, no, nung tao sa bangko ay galing sa illegal, pero hindi pa rin niya nire-report, no? So, yun, kasama siya doon. Expanded coverage. The law covers casino including internet-based one, real estate brokers, developers, and high-value dealers, no, in precious metals or stone. Increased penalty. The law strengthened the prosecution of money laundering by making it easier to hold individual liable for both the laundering and the underlying illegal activity. So increased penalty, sabi po dito, yung batas daw po na to ay pinaigting niya yung prosecution of money laundering sa paanong paraan, no? Sa pag-hold ng isang tao na liable, no? Both for the laundering and underlying illegal activity. Kumbaga, itong batas na to, no, itong RA, no, RA 10365, pwede niya agad i-hold, no, yung isang tao na kahinahinala, no, o mahinala na yung kanyang pera, no, galing sa illegal na nilalagay niya sa bank account niya, no, ganyan. Hold individual liable, no, for laundering and underlying illegal activity. Asset management. It includes individuals or entities engaged in managing client money, security accounts, or organization contribution for company creation. So kasama raw po dito yung isang tao o yung mga tao na engaged sa managing client money, security accounts, or organizing contribution for company creation. So kasama yan. Halimbawa, yung pera nila galing sa client money nila, galing sa illegal, no, ganyan. O yung mga contribution galing pala sa masama, sa illegal, no, o security account. Kasama pa rin yan, no? Kasama pa rin sa money laundering yan. And last, yung RA 10927, no, 2017 lang. Republic Act 10927 signed in 2017 amends the Philippine Anti-Money Laundering or AMLA of 2001 to designate casinos include internet and ship-based operation as covered person. It requires casinos to report, no, yung mga casino natin dyan sa Pasay, no, sa Parañaque, no, yung mga Resort World, di ba? Ano pa ba yung mga sikat dyan, no? So, nire-require sila, no? It requires casino to report single cash transaction, no, of 500,000 to the Anti-Money Laundering Council, no? Halimbawa, may nagkakasino, nagsusugal sa kasino nila, no, na single cash transaction, no, isang tayaan, 500,000, kalating milyon, no? Parang laki ng pera nito, saan kaya galing yung pera nito, di ba? Siyempre, ang pera, pag di mo yan pinaghirapan, di ba, wala kang ano dyan na pakialam na gastayin yan, di ba? Di ba, hindi mo naman kasi pinaghirapan, pinagpawisan yan, di ba? Ganun na lang tumaya, ganun magpatalo sa sugal, di ba? So, ganun lang, no? Nire-require yung RA 10927, so nire-require yung mga casino na i-report yung single cash transaction, no? 500,000 kalating milyon sa Anti-Money Laundering Council. Kesyo legal na pera o illegal, automatic, kailangan i-report, no? Sabi ng batas. Another is Republic Act 11521, no? Signed on January 29, 2021. Strengthens the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2021 by expanding covered person to include real estate developers, brokers, and offshore gaming operators. Offshore gaming operators yung sa PAGCOR. Implementing tighter targeted financial transactions against proliferation, financing, and enhancing Anti-Money Laundering Council investigate power. So, okay, ito yung last, no? 2021 lang siya. RA 11521. So, yung RA 11521, it strengthens the Anti-Money Laundering Act, no, by expanding covered person to include real estate developer, brokers, and offshore gaming operators. Nag-implement din siya ng mas tight na targeted financial transaction against proliferation financing at enhancing Anti-Money Laundering Council to investigate powers. Okay, so yan po yung pinaka-latest natin pagdating sa anti-money laundering, no? Itong RA 11521, no? Yun nga, nag-expand siya ng covered na mga tao, kasama na rin yung mga real estate developers. Baka itong mga real estate developers na to, kaya gawa ng mga subdivision, yung perang pinanggagawa ay galing pala sa illegal, no? Ganyan, no? Brokers, offshore gaming operators, no? Implementing tighter targeted financial transaction against proliferation financing and enhancing anti-money laundering council para mag-imbestiga, no? Investigate powers. Okay, next, number 5. Republic Act number 10175, also known as the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. The law enacted on September 12, 2012 to define, prevent, and penalize crimes committed through computer system and the internet. So yung RA 10175, or also known as the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, so this law enacted on September 12, 2012, nag-define siya para ma-prevent, para ma-penalize yung crime committed through computer system and the internet. So, key punishable offenses. So, pagdating dito, meron tayong tinatawag na illegal access, illegal interception, data system interference, cyber squatting, no? So, isa-isa natin. Illegal access, pero in relation yan to RA 10175. No? Paano ba yung illegal access? Anong ginawa nung tao sa'yo? No? Ayun, accessing a computer system without authority. In-access nung tao, no, nung suspect, yung computer system mo na walang paalam sa'yo. No? Ayun, pag nahuli mo siya, nakilala mo siya, ang tawag doon, illegal access in relation to Republic Act 10175. Or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. Another, illegal interception. Nandun yung salitang interception. Intercept, no? Intercepting or capturing non-public transmission or computer data. Okay, yung tao, yung suspect, in-intercept or kinapture, no? Yung computer data mo, yung transmission of computer data mo. Nakilala mo siya, no? So, that is illegal interception in relation to RA 10175. Data or system interference. Nandun na, no? Data or system interference. Unauthorized alteration or damaging of computer data or program. So, ito yung tao, yung suspect, unauthorized alteration, no? Unauthorized, no? Hindi mo naman sinabi na i-damage yung, walang paalam, bigla na lang dinamage yung computer data or computer program mo, no? So, that is data or system interference in relation to RA 10175. Then, cyber squatting. Tuturo din, subject din po sa criminology nito, no? Tinuturo din natin. So, cyber squatting, acquiring a domain name in bad faith to profit from trademark. Paano ba to? Cyber squatting, acquiring a domain name for bad faith to profit from trademark. So, uso yan nung nakaraan, nung Holy Week, di ba? Mga tao nag-uwian ng probinsya. Halimbawa, nag-advance ka ng booking nung February pa lang or March pa lang, no? Halimbawa, may hotel sa Boracay. No, ginagamit niya yung pangalan ng hotel na yon, no? Tapos yung same ng pangalan, no? Halimbawa, isa pa, gumawa ka ng Facebook account, Nike Philippines. Pinagagrab mo lang doon yung mga tsinelas ni Nike, no? Kaya nga pansinin mo sa Facebook, di ba? Yung mga picture doon ng mga binibenta, may mga logo, di ba? May mga logo niya. Para alam na sa kanya galing, no? Kasi pag grab, 'di ba? Daling i-grab daling save nung copy, screenshot lang o save lang sa cellphone, 'di ba? O halimbawa, gumawa ako ng Facebook account na Nike Philippines. Tapos pinaglalagay ko din yung sapatos ng Nike, no? Halimbawa, benta niya 5,000, o hinaprice ko lang 2,500. Umorder ka ngayon sa akin. Pinadala yung bayad, tapos sabay block ko sa iyo, no? So, 'yun, yung pagkopya ko ng pangalan no ng Nike na 'yon, no? That is cyber squatting. So, acquiring domain name in bad faith. In bad faith, ginagamit ko yung pangalan ng isang company, isang tao in bad faith para kumita ako, no? From the trademark. So, tawag doon cyber squatting. So, in relation to RA 10175. Another computer-related offenses. Computer-related forgery and fraud. Using computers for falsification of fraudulent activities. Kaya nga po, pag magpo-post tayo ng mga certificate, mga diploma natin sa Facebook, dapat binubura po natin yung pirma ng tao, no? Nung pirma ng taong pumirma, 'di ba? Yung principal, ganyan, 'di ba? Yung director, 'di ba? Ganyan, yung mga ano po natin, halimbawa, yung student number natin, no? Popost ka ng driver's license, yung driver's license number mo, baka mamaya kopyahin, no? Yan. Ito 'yon, no? Nag-post ka ng diploma mo, no? Sa school mo, may isang estudyante hindi doon nag-aral, pwede pero hindi graduate. Kinuha, no? Sinave yung pirma doon sa diploma, 'di ba? Dali yung kopyahin ngayon, 'di ba? So ito 'yon, no? Using computers for falsification of fraudulent activities. Computer-related forgery and fraud. Identity theft. Nandun yung salitang identity, no? Unauthorized use of another person identifying information. Sample nito, gagawa ko ng Facebook account. Kunyari, kinopya ko yung pangalan mo, no? Juan de la Cruz. Kumuha ako ng picture mo sa Facebook mo, no? Nagpakilala ako sa ibang tao. Lalo sa mga professor, di ba? Nagpakilala sa mga estudyante nila. No, ako si sir mo ganito. May sakit yung asawa ko, yung misis ko, baka pwedeng nangihiram sa estudyante ng pera, di ba? 5,000, no? Pandaladag ko lang sa pampagamot. Yung akala naman ng estudyante, totoo na yung kausap niya, yung professor niya, yung sir niya, no, pinahiram ng pera. So ito 'yon, no? Identity theft. Unauthorized use of another person identifying information. Ayun yung tawag, no? Pero ang isasampa na reklamo or kaso, Republic Act 10175. Another, content-related offenses. Content-related offenses. Cyber libel, cyber sex. Okay, cyber libel, no? So, defamation committed through computer system. Meron tayong libel, merong cyber libel. Dito, sa cyber libel, committed through computer system. So, same lang yung ginawa, iba lang pamamaraan, no? Halimbawa, sinisiraan ka, no? Pero sa Facebook, through computer, no? Sisiraan ka sa pag-post sa Facebook na ikaw daw ay ganito, ganon, no? Pero hindi naman totoo, no? No, that is cyber libel. Screenshot mo, no? Ebidensya yan, cyber libel. Pag sa newspaper, libel, no? Libel. Uso yan, diba? Mga editor, di ba? Yung mga artista o artistang ganito, ganyan, no? So, libel, no? Pagka through computer system, cyber libel. Another is cyber sex. So, engaging or providing sexual service online for favor or consideration. So, uso yan, di ba? So, yan. Cyber sex, no? Providing sexual service online, no? In consideration, no? Kapalit ng pera, kapalit ng bayad sa kanya, no? And child pornography. Child pornography, online acts prohibited under the anti-child pornography. Ito, child pornography, yung mga bata, di ba, na yung gusto ng mga Europeans, no? Mga taga-Europe, mga taga-US, Australia, di ba? Mga bata yung gagamitin nila, pipicturean nila o ibibideo nila o ilalive nila na nakahubad, kita yung dibdib, kita yung maselang parts, no? Ito yon, no? Online acts prohibited. Pero po, hindi po ito covered ng cybercrime, no? Ang isasampa po na reklamo or kaso, no, lalo pag bata, no? Ito, Anti-Child Pornography Act or the RA 9775. Okay? Pag matanda, pwede, cybercrime, no? Pero pag bata, so online act prohibited under. So bata nga, ito, no? Anti-Child Pornography Act. Republic Act 9775. Okay? Then, enforcement and authorities. Sino yung mga enforcement dyan? Office of Cybercrime, OOC, no? Created under the Department of Justice to serve as the central authority for international mutual assistance and law enforcement coordination. Another is the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, CICC, responsible for policy coordination and interagency collaboration. And yung pangatlo, pangapat, the National Bureau of Investigation and the Philippine National Police tasked with actual investigation of cybercrime cases. So, kaming dalawa, no, PNP tsaka NBI. So, we are tasked with the actual investigation of the cybercrime cases. Then, ano yung core penalties under RA 10175? Ano po yung mga penalties niyan? No? Bago tayo mag number 6. So, offenses against confidentiality, integrity, and data system. Yan, hacking, illegal interception, data interference, anong imprisonment mo? Prison mayor, no? Prison mayor. So, pag nahuli ka, nakilala ka, ikaw yung nag-hack ng Facebook niya, illegal intercept, data interference, no? So, prison mayor ka, no? Prison mayor. 6 months to 6 years of imprisonment yan, no? Prison mayor. Then, computer-related offenses, forgery, forge, no? Fraud, identity theft, ganun din, no? Prison mayor, no? Prison mayor. Next, content-related offenses, cybersex, parehas pa rin, prison mayor pa rin. Cyber libel. So, maaari kang makulong ng 4 years and 2 months to 8 years. 4 months and 2 months to 8 years. Or fine, depending to the court. Eh, swerte mo kung pinagmulta ka lang, no? Offenses against critical infrastructure, penalties are higher, typically reclusion temporal, years and day to years, or a fine, no? O pagmumultahin ka. So, offenses against critical infrastructure, so reclusion temporal. Next, aiding or abetting a person who willfully aid, tumulong, no? Or abetting the commission of cybercrime face the same penalties as the principal. Aiding or abetting, bawa cybersex, no? Nanay tsaka anak, ganyan, no? Si nanay, tutulungan niya yung anak niya, no? Para kumita at magkaroon din siya ng pera. So, parehas daw, no? Face the same penalties as the principal. Tatlo yan, di ba? Principal, accomplices, and ito isa, principal, accomplices, and okay, number 6. Accessories, no? Principal, accomplices, and accessories. Number 6, Republic Act 9165. Isa sa, parang pag pumunta ka ngayon ng kulungan, no? Police station, galing akong tawi-tawi, nagturo ako dyan, tinanong ko yung warden, no? Pinakamarami nakakulong, ito, drugs, no? Parang, hindi theft, no? Hindi theft, hindi robbery, ito lagi, no? Parang 50% yata nakakulong, ito yung kaso, no? RA 9165. Known as the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. The primary law in the Philippines that governs the control, regulation, and enforcement of policies against illegal drugs and controlled chemicals. So, RA 9165, known as the Comprehensive Dangerous Act of 2002, it is the primary law, no, in the Philippines that governs the control, regulation, and enforcement of policies against illegal drugs and controlled chemicals. So, itong batas na to, signed into law June 7, 2002. Nirefilled niya o pinalitan niya yung dating batas na RA 6425, no? 1972 pa na batas yan. Tama lang na palitan siya, no? I-refilled siya. So, this law, para to provide more stringent penalties and a more comprehensive framework for drug prevention and rehabilitation. Core objectives, safeguard citizens. So, ang objectives ng batas na to, safeguard citizens, no? Protect the physical and mental well-being of the citizenry, particularly the youth, from harmful effects of dangerous drugs. Number 2, law enforcement. Enhance the efficacy of anti-drug operations through specialized agencies. And number 3, objectives, rehabilitation, provide sustainable programs for the treatment and reintegration of drug defendants into society. So yan po yung core objectives ng RA 9165. Key provisions and offenses, ito yung madalas, no, pag nahulihan ng illegal drugs. Ito yung most common, no? Section 5, kasi marami yan, hanggang Section 33 yan eh. Yung RA 9165, no? Section 5, Section 11, isa-isa natin yan. Section 15, Section 21, yan. So, Section 5 ng RA 9165, so ano yan? Ito yung pagbibenta, ito yung sa pusher, no? Sale, trading, no? Administration, pagdala mo, delivery, and transportation of dangerous drugs. So, ang penalty niyan, no? Life imprisonment. Life imprisonment to death, no? Reclusion perpetua. And fine of 500,000 pesos to 10 million. Another is Section 11, possession of dangerous drug. Ito, dala-dala mo lang, no? Etong number 5, ikaw yung nagbebenta, no? Ito, ikaw yung bumili, no? Ikaw yung bumili ka, pero yung nahuli sa'yo, sobrang dami din, no? Sobrang dami din, yan. So, possession mo, yan, 50 grams ng shabu, no? 500 gramo ng marijuana, sobrang dami ng drugs na nahuli na kuha sa'yo, no? So, ano din yan, life imprisonment din, no? Life imprisonment. Kapag hindi ganyan kadami, di reclusion temporal lang, no? Reclusion temporal, available pa, yung parang homicide lang, no? 12 to 20 years of imprisonment. Next is Section 15, use of dangerous drugs. Ito, nahuli ka na nakagamit ka ng illegal na droga, especially marijuana, halatang halata yan, amoy na amoy, kitang-kita sa mata, di ba? Sa shabu din naman, no? Hindi ka nahuli sa akto na gumagamit, tapos na, no? Tapos ka na gumamit. Bawa, checkpoint, no? Checkpoint ka, meron ka namang driver's license, pero obvious na nakamarijuana ka, no? Yung mata mo talaga sa, ano, no? Sabog na sabog, no? Pinadrug test ka ngayon, ayan, no? So, ito lang, no? Ito lang itong mangyayari sa'yo. First offense mo, rehabilitation, no? I-rehab ka lang ng 6 months. 6 months rehabilitation. Then, may record ka na yan, no? After 6 months, nakalabas ka na. Pagdating ng isang taon, nahuli ka ulit, no? Second offense mo, kulong ka na, imprisonment. Then, Section 21, yung chain of custody. Chain of custody. Napakadaming isinampa na reklamo or kaso sa illegal na droga ang nadidismiss dahil excuse me, hindi nasunod yung chain of custody. So, chain of custody is the critical procedural requirement for the inventory and photography of seized items to ensure evidence integrity. Ito yung chain of custody. Chain of custody in drug cases is the documented, unbroken, and unauthorized record of possession for seized illegal drugs, tracking them from a moment of confiscation through laboratory analysis to courtroom presentation. Okay, ang chain of custody, the moment, no? The moment na maulihan ka ng illegal na droga, di ba? I-inventory yan ng arresting officer. I-inventory yan ng arresting officer na nakahuli sa'yo. I-inventory, ipipicturean yan, ipopotograph yan, no? Pagtapos ngayon yan, yan yung unang proseso. Pangalawang proseso, ibibigay niya yan ngayon kay investigator, no? Kay investigator. Siyempre, si investigator lang ang hawak ng kaso, di ba? Tapos po, si investigator, isasabit niya ngayon kay forensic unit, no? Siyempre, kaya niya isasabit sa forensic unit yan para malaman, ma-verify na legit talaga na illegal na droga yan, no? Na shabu yan, no? Di ba? Mamaya, tawas lang yan, asin lang yan, di ba? So, yun. Then, sabi doon, And ayan laboratory and courtroom presentation. Pag courtroom presentation, pag trial na, pag hearing na, no, pag courtroom presentation na, ang magdadala na ng ebidensya o ng illegal na droga sa korte ay si forensic unit na, 'di ba? Kasi pinareceive ni investigador sa kanya, 'di ba? Wala na kay investigator yung bola, wala na sa kanya yung droga, na kay forensic unit na. So, laboratory analysis to courtroom presentation. So, yun yung 4 na proseso ng chain of custody. Then, mga agencies pagdating sa illegal drugs, no? So, nandiyan yung Dangerous Drug Board, DDB. The Dangerous Drug Board is the policy making and strategy formulating body that plans and formulate programs on drug prevention and control. Ito pinaka-utak no? Kumbaga itong utak, nag-uutos, ang kumikilos si PIDEA. Sabi dito, Dangerous Drug Board, it is the policy making and formulating body and plans. So itong gumagawa ng policy pagdating sa illegal na droga, nagpo-formula, gumagawa ng plano, no, ng program for drug prevention. Siya nag-iisip, no? Ang papakilusin niya ngayon si PIDEA. Ayan. Then Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, the lead agency responsible for the efficient and effective law enforcement for all provisions of dangerous drugs. Okay, next, number 7. Isa rin sa mga sikat na kaso, no? So, Republic Act number 9262 or the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004. So, Republic Act number 9262, also known as the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004, is a landmark Philippine law designed to address and prevent violence committed against women and their children by intimate partners. So, ito na pong RA 9262 or the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004. Dinesign po itong batas na to para ma-prevent yung violence against sa kababaihan at sa kanilang mga anak, no? By intimate partners, no? Pwedeng asawa niya, o dati niyang asawa, o boyfriend niya, o dati niyang boyfriend, no? Pero nagkaanak sila. O, ganyan. It classifies violence against women and their children or VAUSI as a public crime. So, ano ba yung public crime, no? Ayan. Public crime meaning anyone with personal knowledge of the abuse can report it. No? Pero kasi tayong private crime, sir, ma'am, di ba? Ang sample ng private crime yung adultery tsaka concubinage. No, ang private crime kasi hindi pwede yung sabi dito, anyone, no? Anyone can report it, no? Pag private crime, hindi pwedeng anyone can report it. Ang pwede lang magsampa ng reklamo or kaso diyan, yung both parties lang, no? Yung dalawang mag-asawa. No, kung ako nahuli ako ng asawa ko na nambababae ako, ang pwede lang magsampa sa akin ng reklamo or kaso asawa ko. Hindi pwede yung kapatid niya, yung nanay niya, lola niya, no? Pinsan niya, hindi pwede yun. Yung police, hindi rin pwede yun, no? So, yung concubinage adultery, that is private crime. Ito, public crime. Ang public crime, kahit sino Sa rape nga, di ba? Na-rape yung bata, inareglo na, nabayaran na, yung magulang, di ba? Ayaw na magsampa ng kaso ng bata, pati magulang. Yung police, yung investigador, pwede, di ba? DSWD, barangay chairman, di ba? Because that is public crime. Okay, key categories of RA 9262. The law defines 4 primary forms of violence that can be prosecuted. So, key categories of abuse, no? Sabi dito, so physical violence. Physical violence. What is physical violence? Acts that cause bodily harm or injury such as battery or assault. Ayun. Physical violence. Ito yung nag-cause ka, no, dun sa katawan, no, nung asawa mo o dati mong asawa, dati mong girlfriend, no, of harm, injury, no, sinuntok mo or assault, no, nilusob mo tapos sinuntok mo rin, gano'n, no. So, physical violence. 'Di ba? Tatlo 'to eh, 'di ba? Physically, mentally, and emotionally, 'di ba? Then sexual violence, acts that are sexual in nature, forcing a woman or her child to witness pornography. Ito, no? So, pinupuwersa mo yung babae o yung girlfriend mo o yung partner mo, yung asawa mo, no? O pati anak mo, no? Na manood, no? Ng pornography. Ayan, no? So, that sexual violence, pwede silang pwede silang magsampa ng reklamo laban sa iyo, no? In relation to RA 9262. Then, psychological violence, acts or omissions causing mental or emotional suffering such as stalking, no? Public ridicule. What is public ridicule? It is the act of mocking, deriding, or shaming of individual or group in front of the audience, intending to damage their reputation. So dito medyo ito kasi itong batas na to 2004 pa sabi, di ba? So ito ngayon parang kinuha na to ng Safe Spaces Act, no? Bawal bastos law. No? Parang kinuha na tong public ridicule, no? So mocking, pati nga tong stalking no, part na ng yan bawal, Safe Spaces Act na yan bawal bastos law na yan. Dito shaming, pinapaya mo sa labas, no? Yan, shaming individual group at damage their reputation, dignity, no? Harassment, what is harassment? Unwanted, unwelcome, and uninvented behavior, verbal, physical, or visual that means humiliates or intimidates a person, often creating a hostile environment. Okay, kasama sa psychological violence yung harassment, ano to? Unwanted, unwelcome, and unintended behavior, verbal, physical, or visual that means humiliates or intimidate a person. Nagkikreate ka ng hostile sa kanyang environment. Or verbal abuse, verbal abuse lang, pinagmumura mo siya, no? Ganyan, laging mura, ganyan salita lang, no? Kahit hindi mo sinusuntok, no? Kahit hindi physical, verbal lang, no? So, emotionally yan di ba? Pwede siya magsampa ng reklamo sa iyo in relation to RA 9262. Ito pa, economic abuse, no? Economic abuse. Ano to? Acts that make a woman financially dependent, such as withdrawal or financial support or preventing the victim from engaging in the profession or business. Economic abuse. Ito, act that make woman financially dependent. Hindi mo sinusustentuhan, no? Yung dati mong may anak ka sa kanya, no? Doon sa dati mong asawa, dati mong girlfriend, hindi mo sinusustentuhan yung bata, no? At economic abuse, no? Act that make woman financially dependent. Withdraw or inurong mo, no? Binawi mo yung support mo dun sa bata. Dati nagbibigay ka, ngayon hindi na. No? So pwede siya magsampa ng reklamo sa iyo, no? Economic abuse in relation to RA 9262. Pero last year, 'di ba, may decision yung Supreme Court na parehas may trabaho yung dalawa, lalaki at babae. Tapos naputol yung pagsustento ng lalaki doon sa anak kasi parang seaman yung lalaki, nag-abroad, 'di ba? Ayun, no, kinatigan ng Korte Suprema yung yung lalaki, no? Dapat nagbibigay din yung babae kasi nga ang mali ng babae doon sa statement niya, sinabi niya na may trabaho siya, 'di ba? May income siya. Dapat hindi niya nilagay. Yung nasilip sa kanya ng Supreme Court. Meron ka din palang income di kahit hindi magpadala sa iyo yung lalaki, yung asawa mo, okay lang, kaya mong buhayin, i-survive yung anak nyo. Ayun, no? Okay, next, who is protected? Women and children. Women, no? This includes current from former wives, women with whom the perpetrator has or had sexual or dating relationship, or women with whom the perpetrator has common child. So yung protektado ng batas na to, RA 9262. So yung dati mong asawa, no? Dati mong asawa, yung babae na dati mong karelasyon, no? Sexual or dating relationship na hiwalay na kayo ngayon, no? Yung babae na nagkaroon ka ng anak sa kanya, ayun. So, yun yung protektado ng batas na to. Then, sa bata, includes legitimate and illegitimate children. as well as any child under the care of woman victim. So kasama dito legitimate or illegitimate children. Either legitimate mo na anak, unang anak mo kaso naghiwalay kayo, no? O kaya pangalawang anak mo, pangatlo sa ibang babae ganyan, no? Kasama 'yan, no? As well any child under the care of woman victim. As long na yung anak mo, yung bata mo na yan, no? Ang nag-aalaga diyan yung dati mong asawa na o dati mong girlfriend na karelasyon mo. Ayun, don. Core penalties and consequences. So anong penalties nung nito? RA 9262, imprisonment ranging from arresto mayor, no? 1 month and 1 day to 6 months, to prison mayor 6 years and 1 day to 12 years, depending on the crime. Acts amounting to murder or homicide are punishable under the revised penal code. So ang ang penalty, no, pwedeng arresto mayor, pwede ka makulong ng 1 month to 6 months, depende sa sa crime, no. Pwede rin sa prison mayor 6 months and 1 day to 12 years. Fine, payment of a fine ranging from 100,000 pesos to 300,000 pesos, no? Mandatory counseling treatment. Perpetrator must undergo psychological counseling by psychiatric treatment and report compliance to the court. So, yung perpetrator dapat mag-undergo siya ng psychological counseling at psychiatric treatment. At kailangan mag-report siya, no? In compliance doon sa korte. Then, protection orders, violation of the Barangay Protection Order or BPO is punishable by 30 days imprisonment, while violating of temporary or permanent protection order, TPO, PPO can result in 5,000 to 50,000 fine and 6 months imprisonment. So, ito dito yung halimbawa sa barangay, no? Sa barangay nagpunta yung dati mong asawa, yung dati mong nobya, dati mong girlfriend, no? Nag-report siya ron. Ayun, so magkakaroon siya ngayon ng protection order na ikaw dapat hindi ka na doon pupunta sa bahay niya nung dati mong asawa o dati mong girlfriend, no? Pag hindi ka sumunod doon, no? Pag hindi ka sumunod doon, ito po 'yon. So violation of barangay protection order. So maaari kang makulong ng 30 days, no? Imprisonment. At pag nag-violate ka naman sa temporary permanent protection order, TPO or PPO, so maaari kang magmulta ng 5,000 to 50,000 pesos at pagkakulong ng 6 na buwan. Ayan. Okay. Next is number 8, Republic Act number 10364. Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Person Acts of 2012. Republic Act 10364. Expanded Anti-Trafficking, no? Anti-Trafficking in Person Act of 2012. Amends RA 9208 to strengthen the Philippines fight against human trafficking. It expands prohibited acts to include the use of information and communication technology or ICT, digital platforms for exploitation, increased penalties for offenders, and enhances protection for victims. Okay, number 8 is the Republic Act 10364 or the Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Person Act of 2012. So inamend dito yung RA 9208. No, yung batas na to, it fight against human trafficking. In-expand nito yung Prohibited Act, kasama na yung paggamit ng information and communication technology, digital platforms na ginagamit mo for exploitation, no, ng mga tao, no, at in-increase na yung penalties sa offenders at in-enhance yung protection para sa biktima. So, key pictures, no, nung batas na to, RA 10364. Expanded definition of trafficking. So expanded the definition of trafficking, covers not just sexual exploitation, but also forced labor, involuntary servitude, death bondage, and organ removal. Okay, key features at improvements nung batas na to, RA 10364. So kasama dito yung sexual exploitation, no? Sexual exploitation. Then forced labor, no? Pinipilit mo na magtrabaho sa yung isang tao, ayaw naman, no? Or involuntary, hindi naman nag-volunteer sa iyo na mag-serve yung tao, pinipilit mo, no? Or debt bondage, ito yung pagbayad ng utang. Ang may utang sa iyo, tatay, ngayon yung anak, pinagtrabaho mo, walang bayad para mabayaran yung utang sa iyo. Kasama dito 'yon. And organ, no? Organ removal, ito, 'di ba, yung mga kidney, 'di ba? Kidney removal, benta ng mga kidney. So, pasok 'yan, no? Kasama yan sa RA 10364 or Expanded Anti-Trafficking Person Act of 2012. Then next, technological focus specifically criminalizes the use of technology and internet for trafficking, particularly online exploitation for children o yung OSEC. Ngayon, itong OSEC, meron tayong hiwalay na batas dito, no? Mamaya, ito, yung number 9, no? Number 9 o number 10, yan na, OSEC. Dati kasi, wala pa, no? Wala pa yung batas na yan. Then, another is increase, no? Increased liability. Increased liability holds accomplices and those who knowingly benefit from trafficking proceeds. So, kasama dito yung accomplices, no? Hindi lang yung principal, pati yung accomplices, no? Kasama, no? At kung sino pa yung mga nagbe-benefit yung nung batas, kung sino pa yung nag-benefit dito sa Anti-Trafficking in Person Act, no? Next, protection mechanism, no? Protection mechanisms focuses on victim protection, including the creation of safe spaces, legal assistance, and strengthening institutional mechanism for response. Protection mechanism, so nakapokus daw to sa victim protection, kasama na yung pag-create ng safe spaces, legal assistance, at strengthening institutional mechanism for response. Then child trafficking specifics, classifies facilitating the travel of child alone without proper documentation or parental consent as attempted trafficking. Ito, mabigat. Kasama, no? Kasama. Tawag ito, travel. No? Pinag-travel mo yung bata mag-isa, no? Alone, no? Without proper documentation or parental consent. Pag nangyari yan, no? Pwede ka, no? Attempted trafficking, no? Attempted trafficking. So, kasama, no? Travel of children alone. Bawa, pinauwi mo ng probinsya, no? Mag-isa lang yung bata, minor, no? Mag-isa lang. Siyempre, hindi pa naman yung kaya yung sarili niya, di ba? Bawa, ano lang, 12 years old lang, 13, ganyan, di ba? Kung nasa bus yan, biglang may kumuha sa kanya, di ba? Ayun, no? So, considered dyan na attempted trafficking. So, the law was signed on February 6, 2013 to address emerging trends in human trafficking and enhance international cooperation against the crime. Okay, next is ito yung kanina, no? Yung sabi ko na may hiwalay na batas sa kanya. Ito yung kanina, yung OSEC, no? So, ito na. Republic Act 11930. Republic Act 11930. Or the Anti-Online Sexual Abuse or Exploitation of Children, o SAEC, and Anti-Child Sexual Abuse or Exploitation Materials, o SAEM, no? Or KASAEM, no? KASAEM Act. Enacted in July 2022. So, ano yung batas na to? It strengthens protections against online abuse. It penalizes the production, distribution, and possession of such materials. Mandates internet services providers to report violation and expand the definition of child victims. So, ito pong batas na to, Republic Act 11930 or the Anti-Online Sexual Abuse or Exploitation of Children o SAIC and the Anti-Child no? Sexual Abuse or Exploitation Material, no? KASAIM, no? So, protection na nito yung online abuse, no? Pinenalize niya yung production, distribution, at possession ng mga materials, mandates internet services na mag-provide ng report, violation, at in-expand niya yung definition ng child victims. So, what is the definition of USAIC? No? What is the definition of USAIC? The use of technology like internet, social media, Facebook, no, webcams, to abuse or exploit children sexually. Ito, no? So, yung paggamit daw po ng technology, no, ng internet, social media, no, yung Facebook yan, di ba? Webcam, no, para abusuin o gamitin, no, yung mga sexually, yung mga kabataan. O, yan. This includes online grooming. Kasama daw dyan yung online grooming. What is online grooming? Online grooming is a process where an adult or sometimes another young person builds an emotional connection with a child or adolescents online to gain their trust for the purpose of sexual exploitation, abuse, or trafficking. Okay, kasama raw po dyan yung online grooming. Ang online grooming po, ito raw po yung proseso kung saan yung adult o sometime another young person, nagbibuild siya ngayon ng emotional connection sa bata. Pag nabuo yung emotional connection na yan, pag nakuha niya yung loob ng bata, pero ang purpose pala niya, yan, sexual exploitation, abuse, or trafficking. Sama dyan, yan, live streaming of sexual abuse, sexual extortion, no? Sexual extortion, or sextortion, and commercial sexual exploitation. Na live streaming ka, yung bata yung ginagamit mo, binabayaran para kumita ka, no? So, yan, no? Kasama yan sa USAIC. Next, yung definition naman ng KASAIM, or the Anti-Child Sexual Abuse or Exploitations Materials. Any video, any image, video, audio, or written material depicting the child involved in real or simulated sexual activities or focusing on the child's private part as sexual abuse. So, ano yung definition ng KASAIM? Kahit anong video, image, video, or audio, image, picture, video, or audio, or written material na na-defect sa bata na involved sa real or simulated sexual activities or focusing on child private parts as sexual object. So that's the definition of KASAIM, or the Anti-Child Sexual Abuse or Exploitation Materials. Key aspects of RA 11930. Key aspects of RA 11930, definition of child. Burden to include anyone under 18 or over 18 who cannot fully protect themselves from abuse due to physical or mental conditions. So, yung definition ng child sa under RA 11930. So, ito raw yung anyone under 18 years old, no? O pwede rin yung over 18 years old but he cannot fully protect pa yung sarili niya from abuse dahil meron siyang physical or mental condition. Coverage. It covers computer-generated digital or manual images, graphics, or depict children in sexualized ways. Penalties. Imposes severe penalties for individual and provides penalties for cybercrime perpetrators. So, ang penalty nito, nag-impose do siya ng severe, no? Mas mahigpit na penalty para sa isang tao at nag-provide siya ng penalty for cybercrime perpetrators. Intermediary responsibility. Internet service providers or ISP, social media platform, and financial intermediaries are required to detect, report, and prevent the spread of kasaim. So, yung mga internet service daw providers, GlobeSmart, no, kung ano, Converge, no, kung ano man yan, social media platform, si Facebook, ganyan, no, at iba bang financial intermediaries, no, diaries, no, nire-required sila na dapat ma-detect nila o pag na-detect nila, i-report nila para ma-prevent tong pagkalat ng kasaim, no. Then, key penalties under RA 11930 include, anong penalties ito? Life imprisonment, no? And high fines. Life imprisonment and high fines imposed for serious violations such as creating, engaging, managing, and production of child sexual abuse or exploitation materials. So, sabi dito, no? Impose a serious violation kapag gumawa ka, nag-create ka, o engaging or nag-manage ka ng production ka ng child sexual abuse or exploitation material, kasaim. No? At fine na 500,000, no? 500,000 pesos to 20 million. Bigat, no? To 20 million. Then other imprisonment terms, various offenses carries penalties in prison mayor to reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment depending on the gravity and nature of the act. Other imprisonment terms daw, pwede rin yung pumasok sa penalties na prison mayor to reclusion perpetua, no? Depende sa bigat, no? O gravity ng nagawa, nature of the act. Kapag ikaw ay public official, government employee, no? Public officers who violate the law face higher penalties, no? Sabi nga doon, public employees is a public trust. Including perpetual disqualification from public office. Kasama na rin dyan yung pagkatanggal mo, pagka-disqualified mo from public office, no? Then, juridical persons, pag ikaw naman ay juridical persons, companies, internet, intermediaries, and platforms faces fines representing a portion of their network and potential revocation of license. Walang kulong, no? Fine lang. Kapag ikaw yung company o internet, intermediaries and platform, no? Fine ka lang o pwede, no? Pwedeng i-revoke yung lisensya, no? Ayan. Pag ikaw naman ay foreign offenders, non-citizen face prosecution, deportation after serving their sentence, parang sa anti-kidnapping lang, and permanent barring from re-entry. Kapag ikaw ay foreigner na gumawa nito, no, after mo ma-serve yung sentence mo, i-deport ka na agad, no, at permanent ka na ban, no, ban, hindi ka na pwedeng pumasok, no, dito sa Pilipinas. So, yan po yung penalty ng Republic Act 11930 or the Anti-Online Sexual Abuse or Exploitation of Children o SAIC and Anti-Child Sexual Abuse or Exploitation Materials or KASAIB. And last, Republic Act 10173 or the Data Privacy Act of 2012. Republic Act number 10173 or the Data Privacy Act of 2012. It is a Philippine law protecting personal information in both government and private sectors. It mandates the secure handling of personal data, grants individuals right over their information, and establish the National Privacy Commission or NPC for enforcement. So, yung batas daw po na to, RA 10173 or the Data Privacy Act of 2012 ay pinoprotektahan, no, yung personal information both government and private sectors. It also mandate na i-secure yung pag-handle ng mga personal data, grants individual rights over their information. And in-establish yung National Privacy Commission for enforcement. So dito, no, personal data, hindi na basta-basta pwede kunin, no? Yung personal data mo. Halimbawa, hindi na pwede basta-basta kunin yan diyan sa opisina mo, no? Sa kumuha ng information sa SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth. Alam ko naman, mga membro tayo niyan, no? PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, no? Kukuha ng data natin doon, hindi na pwede basta-basta sila pwede magbigay, no? O dati mong school, no? Dati mong school nung college ka o high school, ganyan. O dati mong pinasukan na kumpanya. O sa Comelec, no? Ganyan, kukunin yung mga details mo, address mo, ganyan. Key aspect of Data Privacy Act. Definition and scope. Covers all types of personal information. Yan, personal, sensitive, and privileged. Processed by any natural or juridical person, including those outside the Philippines, using equipment located within the country. So, cover daw dito yung all types of personal information, personal, sensitive, and privileged. Kasama na rin yung mga outside the Philippines, no? Using equipment located within the country. Kasama na rin outside the Philippines na gumagamit na equipment located within the country. The National Privacy Commission or NPC, the law created the NPC to monitor compliance, enforce, and the DPA and manage data protection standard. So, pagkagawa ng batas na to, RA 10173, kasama sa na-create tong National Privacy Commission na dapat minomonitor niya kung nagko-comply ba lahat dito, no? And manage protection data standard. Data subject rights. Protects individuals by giving them rights to be informed, access, object, erase, block, correct, and port their data. So, kasama dito. Sa data subject rights, pinoprotektahan daw yung mga bawat tao na sa pagbibigay ng kanilang karapatan, no? O, kung pumapayag na ibigay yung details niya, no? Sir, mag-access, kuha ng details sa'yo, buburahin, iba-block, itatama, no? And for their data, inform nyo muna ako bago nyo burahin, bago nyo i-block, bago nyo i-correct, no? Inform nyo muna ako. Consent. Processing requires consent which must be freely given, specific and informed indication of will. Okay, consent. So, dapat nag-require daw ito, dapat yung nagpaalam at pumayag ako, freely given, no? Binigay ko, no? Na naayon sa aking kalooban, no? Yun. And informed indication of will. Penalties. Violations such as unauthorized processing, improper disposal, or negligent security can lead to imprisonment ranging from 1 year to 7 years and substantial fines up to 5 billion pesos. So, mabigat yung penalty. Ang penalty niya, pagkakakulong ng 1 taon hanggang 7 taon at fine na aabot hanggang 5 million pesos. Key aspects of RA 10173. Ano yung scope niya, no? Para sabi ko ito kanina, no? So, dito tayo. Breach notification, no? Breach notification. Organization must notify the NPC and affected individual within 72 hours of data breach. So, yung organization daw dapat notify yung NPC, no? National NPC, no? And affected individual within 72 hours of the data breach. Penalties can result to imprisonment 1 year, 1 to 3 years, and 3 to 6 years, and hefty fines, especially for large-scale data breaches. Data Privacy Act explained. Personal information, sensitive personal information, data controller processors, last. So, Data Privacy Act explained ano yung personal information, PI, any information from which an individual's identity is apparent or can be reasonably ascertained. So, personal information, kahit anong information daw galing sa individual identity na can be reasonably ascertained. Sensitive personal information. Specific data such as race, ethnic origin, 'di ba? O tinatanong kung anong ano to, ano bang probinsya nitong to, no? Ano bang ethnic origin na to, no? Marital status, no? Yan. Tinatanong kung kasal ba talaga o hindi, ganyan. Health, no? Education, yan, genetic, o graduate ba talaga to ng college, ganyan, no? Sexual life and government issued documents. So hindi basta-basta pwedeng ibigay po yan, ipaalam yan, no? Hindi pwede basta-basta ipaalam yan. Data controllers, processors, entities controlling or processing data must implement reasonable, appropriate security process to protect against data breaches. Okay, sabi dito, data controllers, processors, entities controlling or processing data must implement reasonable, appropriate security measures to protect against data breaches. Okay, so end of lecture, sir, ma'am. So that is the RA 10173. Okay po. Thank you po and God bless, no? God bless po sa Napolcom, no? Promotion exam nyo, no? This coming Sunday po, no? So sana po, no? 100% po lahat po kayo ay makapasa po sa exam po nyo. Or ma'am, thank you.
All right, so thank you so much, Sir Roy Esteliero, for sharing your ideas, sir. I think may wala namang tanong yata nandito. We are, ilan naman tayo? 4 nandito sa live. So, sir, do you have any last tips based on your experience po sa pag-take ng exam para ma-end na po natin yung first part ng lecture natin tonight?
Oh, sir, ano yung exam nila, sir? Ano to? Sama-sama na ba to, sir? PO tsaka SPO? Paano bang yung exam nila?
4th and 3rd class na, sir.
4th and 3rd class. So, PO tsaka SPO, no?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
meron naman po. Yun lang, sir, ma'am, additional, yung NOAA po nyo, na galing sa Napolcom, may nakalagay naman po sa likod yon kung ano po yung coverage ng ng mga questions na itatanong sa inyo. So additional po, baka po kung sakali lang may hindi po natakil kahapon saka dito sa akin, no? So maaring maano nyo pa yan, ma-review nyo pa, no? Ma-review nyo pa, search nyo lang po kung ano yung nakalagay doon na hindi po na-discuss. So yun lang, no? Tapos sa Sabado, no, yan na, pagka mag-exam ka na bukasan, wag na magpupuyat, no, wag na magpupuyat sa lalaki, baka minum pa, no, matulog po ng maaga para maaga magising, no, para kompleto yung tulog, no. Tama, kompleto yung tulog, maganda yung gising. Kasi mahirap yung kulang sa tulog, eh, 'di ba? Baka tulog mo 3 oras, 4 na oras lang. Inaantok-antok ka niya, no. Tapos relax lang po pag mag-exam, no. So kung hindi po maiiwasan na may bura kayo doon sa nyo, sa exam nyo, no? Pero mas maganda po hangga't maaari, wala pong bura. Pero kung hindi po talaga maiiwasan, okay lang po yan, wag po kayong mangamba doon, wag kayong maratel. Okay. Ako kasi mga exam ko diyan may bura pero pumasa naman po tayo, no? So, yun lang, sir, ma'am, no? Yun, nabigay ko na yung advice, no? Yun nga, yung sa NOAA, nyo, galing sa Napolcom, baka may hindi pa nabigay na diyan, na-discuss namin, no? Para karagdagan po. Again, no, good luck po, sir, ma'am, no, sa Napolcom promotion exam nyo. So, this coming Sunday, no, para kailangan po yan para ma-promote na rin po kayo. Okay, thank you po, sir, ma'am, and God bless.
Okay, so once again, thank you so much, Sir Roy Esteliero. So hopefully, marami kayong natutunan doon sa lalong-lalo na yung mga batas na binanggit ng lecturers natin na yun naman ay andun sa coverage po ni Napolcom, no, para sa promotional exam. So We'll resume our class by 8:30 para po sa 40 items questions and answer discussions by Ma'am Grace Soriano. At since this is recorded and Sir Renante Balakwit is here also, so sir, baka meron kayong mga additional tips and technique before we end the first part of this lecture, sir. Good evening.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ako ba yun, sir? Yung tinatanong mo po? O okay na?
No. Sir, okay na po, sir. Sir Troy, thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, pwede na ako mag-leave, sir, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, ma'am. Thank you. God bless po.